If you're a K-pop fan, you've probably heard the term 덕후. It used to just mean a die-hard fan, but these days the meaning has expanded to describe someone who dives deeply into a specific field with a passion and enthusiasm that goes beyond even an expert's level. That means there are probably a lot of people who have turned their lives around becoming a 덕후 in a particular area. And I think I can say I'm one of those people too, which is why I completely understand just how much passion and love a person can have for their chosen field. Welcome to Culture Crunch. I'm your DJ, Sujung. Today on Creme de la Creme, we're joined by a Pansori 덕후 who is living a whole new life thanks to her love for Korea's traditional music, Pansori. I'll introduce her straight after this song, 노자 노자 by 악단 광칠.
학업에 치고 지역에 치고 도대체 노는 게 나에게 뭔지 취업하면 잘 산단다 업무에 치고 언제나 바쁘고 도대체 사는 게 나에게 뭔지 점점 더 사라져가는 내 진짜 모습 원하는 게 뭐였는데 인생도 뭔지 보자 행복하자 다 즐겨보자 다 더 이상 미루지 말자 한 잔, 두 잔, 세 잔 다 취해볼래 미루지 말고 어여쁜 인생을 노래하자 동동실 춤추자 걸음도 느려졌지 하늘을 꼿꼿이 바라본 게 언제인지 굽은 허리로 땅을 밟고 일어나 고개를 들면 주름진 시간만큼 후회하지 내 젊은 시절을 그리단 말지 내가 모르겠다 한잔하자 노자 세월의 맛 한껏 마셔보자 허리 바짝 펴고 고개 바짝 펴고 내가 하늘이다 이것들아 대낮부터 자유롭게 마음껏 취해보자 허이 울지 않기 허이 그러자 크게 웃기 오늘 술 맛이 참 깊다 춤추자
If success is your goal, tune in to Creme de la Creme to learn the secrets of the top players in their respective fields. Today's guest fell deeply in love with the art of Pansori, and that love brought her all the way to Seoul. Please welcome Professor Anna Yates-Lu. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for trekking through the snow to be with us this morning. Anna and I were talking before the show, and she literally had to hike down a mountain to be on Culture Crunch today. So well done. A little workout to start your morning.
Very healthy.
So you're a bit of a veteran at ARIRANG, both the radio and the TV side, I believe, because you are one of the only, or one of the top at least, foreign Pansori singers in Korea.
Yes, well, I mean, there are definitely people who have come before me. There's a long generation of people whose work I've been able to continue.
Right.
At the moment, in terms of sort of academia, there's me and 2-3 other people here based in Korea who are active in this field. And lots of generations before. People who are not academics but performing. There's a scene, it's a small scene, but it does exist, yes.
But you're one of the top players, which is why you're here today. So you're Pansori singer, you're a professor at Seoul National University as well.
Yeah.
And what do you teach exactly there?
So I'm an ethnomusicologist. So my main area of teaching is ethnomusicology for undergraduate and graduate students.
Okay.
I also do things like introducing Korean music, world music. I also do a class with my grad students sort of looking at the internationalization of Korean traditional music and this kind of stuff. So lots of different things.
Very, very diverse curriculum indeed.
Yes.
So you've been in Seoul for how long now?
So this time it's now been just over 4 years.
4 years, okay.
But for my research, I've been sort of pinging back and forth between Korea and other parts of the world for more than 10 years now.
Oh, wow, okay. Because I was going to ask you about the decision to move to Seoul, which is quite a big thing. I remember when I had to make the decision to actually move out here, it's very different to visiting or doing research for brief periods, right? And that must have been a very tough decision in your life. How did you come to that?
Well, I mean, the thing is, academia isn't exactly necessarily an easy place to get jobs anyway. And I was just incredibly fortunate that at Seoul National University, I can teach really focusing on my major, my main areas of interests in one of the best Korean music departments in the whole Korea, in the whole world, right? So you don't say no to that. If you get that chance, you're like, yes, thank you.
So you jumped at that opportunity.
Of course. Yeah.
I see. And since you've been here, you're teaching as well, but you're also performing a lot on stage too. And I feel like being actually in Seoul provides a lot more opportunities to really be entrenched, shall we say, in the world of Pansori. Would that be correct?
Definitely. I mean, while I was in the UK, for example, after having done fieldwork, started learning Pansori, going back abroad again, if I wanted to perform, there wasn't anyone who could play the drums for me, because that's quite a specialized skill as well. So I actually had to teach a friend of mine who was actually a samanori player to play the soribuk, it's called, the drum for the pansori accompaniment.
Right.
So that she could then accompany me because there was literally no one else. So it's a lot easier now, definitely.
Because it's such a big part of the performance as well. I mean, your voice, obviously, but the drum, the puk, obviously a huge part too. In the opening, I introduced you as a Pansori 덕후. Would you say that's quite an accurate way to describe yourself?
Yes, no, definitely. I mean, not just 덕후, but I mean, they talk about 성덕 these days. You know, if you've managed to achieve success in your field of passion, I really would think that, you know, through a lot of very fortunate circumstances, 성덕 is definitely where I would call myself these days.
Wow, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
성덕 Professor Anna Yates-Lu. So for some of our listeners or perhaps viewers who may not be entirely familiar with Pansori, could you explain in very simple terms what you think Pansori is?
So it's storytelling through song is the sort of the very simple way of doing it. Really, there's three elements. There's singing, there's narration, and there's gesture. And the singer is doing that. They've got a fan that is their only tool. And then they've got the drummer who's beating the drum to accompany them.
Right.
And that's it. So the rest of it is you're telling these stories that can be up to 8 hours long.
Whoa, yeah.
There's a lot of detail involved. And to not make it boring, you do have to use gesture, alternating between singing, narrating. You're doing sound effects with your voice as well. You have to act out all the different characters yourself. So it's a very much lots of different elements coming together in order to be able to tell a story in a very interesting way. I find it interesting anyway.
And I feel like your persona has to fill the whole stage.
Yeah.
And to fill that time as well.
Yes, and I mean, because you're not doing it with a microphone either. Miking is very difficult with Pansori because you alternate like the sound range, the intensity of the voice varies very greatly. It is not friends with microphones in general. So usually you're having to do this all without a microphone, just by yourself on the stage, interacting with the audience.
Because I think Pansori sounds are some of the most powerful sounds I have heard when we're talking about the raw sound that a human can make, which is absolutely amazing. And I think there's a lot of interest in Pansori these days, especially with the drama Jeongnyeon, The Star is Born, not only in Korea but internationally as well. So that must be quite exciting for your art to really be in the spotlight these days.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I think it's part of a growing trend. You've been seeing sort of since last year or so at the National Theatre, they've got the National Changguk Company of Korea.
Yes.
And they've been selling out concerts like 2 months in advance.
Wow.
Starting from last year already. So there is a sort of growing trend of rising interest in Korea anyway, but it's really hit another peak now with Jeongnyeon. So something like the Yeosong Kukguk, this all-female theatre troupes that have been shown in Jeongnyeon. I mean, this was almost considered as sort of a lost art form. There were people who were trying to keep it going, but it was really hard because it had sort of the big peak was during the 1950s, and after that it was replaced by other things. But now there's this interest again. It's really great to see these performers that have been holding on to this art for decades that are now on the radio, they're on the TV again. They're doing a concert next month which sold out in 30 minutes. They had to get like additional sort of concert times which then also sold out, and that's a really rare thing for Korean traditional music in general. So it's always great to see one genre being able to succeed like that.
And I think it's their time to shine. And I feel like, you know, the character Jeongnyeon, she moved to Seoul in order to follow her dream. I feel like there are parallels in your own life as well. Do you see yourself in that character?
Well, I mean, I think she is an artist, obviously. She lives for her art, and I mean, the whole story is about how important art is to her. I think I would say that my art is research.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, yes, I perform. I am in no means at a sort of professional standard in terms of skill. For me, that's also a means to an end, because the more I learn, the better I am able to understand this art form that I am researching.
I see.
So I know how hard the Pansori singers I know have worked for their art. I can't say that I'm the same as them, which is why I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stick to my lane. I am a researcher who performs. But I am a researcher, and they are performers, and I respect them very, very much.
I think you're being quite humble. But yes, the fact that you're here following your dream, and it's so different to, I feel like, any of your other peers really are doing, which is a huge feat in itself. So let's take it back to your initial encounter with Pansori then. I believe it was in 2013.
Yes.
While you were doing your master's program in cultural policy, of all things.
Yes, yeah. So I had an interest in culture at that point, but I was really focusing on the political side of things. But it just so happened that I needed to fill up my credits, as so often happens. And so I ended up taking a class on traditional music of East Asia. One of the things being Pansori, and there just so happened to be a concert of Pansori that was running. So our professor was like, guys, go see it. It's always better live, which is very true. During the lecture, it was not that interesting. But when I went to the concert, I said, wow, what is this? I didn't really speak Korean at that point. I spoke a little bit, but not at the level of the sort of the, equivalent of Shakespeare in English with a Scottish accent in terms of departure from standard Korean.
That's a great way of looking at it.
That is Pansori. There were subtitles. I didn't look, because if you look at the subtitles, you miss what's happening there. And you just, with the singing alone, with the gestures that the performer was doing, I could tell what was happening. And that was amazing to me. How could this song express so much?
So even without knowing the words or possibly even the background, you were captivated by this art form that you discovered. Wow.
Yeah, so that was it. Then I was so curious about it, I wrote all my remaining assignments about Pansori for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yes. And that was it. That was just my path. It also helped that politics just wasn't really my thing. And so I then changed my major to ethnomusicology and started doing more intensive research about Pansori. And I haven't stopped being curious yet.
Wow. So you ended up doing a PhD in ethnomusicology.
Yeah.
Very bold decision. Were there any fears or sort of trepidation about venturing into such a different field that you'd initially started on?
I mean, the professor who then became my supervisor, Professor Keith Howard, he said to me, like, look, you need to love your subject. Otherwise, you are really going to hate it by the time you're writing your thesis. Are you sure? And I was like, you know what? I'm actually really, really interested in this. And so, that's just kind of kept me going. Like, there hasn't really been any doubt so far that this was a bad idea. But I've also been very lucky, which helps.
Well, luck is part of talent as well, as we say. So that love of Pansori brought you to Korea in 2014 to do your research. What kind of research are we talking?
So in ethnomusicology, fieldwork is a really important part of it. So you're supposed to go. You're also supposed to learn yourself, although usually they talk about it in terms of learn the basics at least.
Right.
You need to feel that physicality, see what the learning processes are like and so on. But then it's also, I was watching performances, I was doing interviews, and all this was kind of coming together to give me this picture of what I was really curious about, which was what is contemporary Pansori? Because all the literature I was reading was talking about it as if it was something from a distant past.
The very traditional side of it.
Yeah, but it's like people are still doing it today, right? It's a contemporary art form because it's happening in the current day.
Yes.
So what is that contemporary Pansori? What is that? So that was kind of what I was looking at.
And you mentioned learning the basics, but I feel like Pansori is not really something you can get away with just the basics. You really have to give everything to, like your whole body. It's very physical.
Yes,
right?
I mean, the thing is you can learn just for learning it, feeling it for yourself. If you want to perform, obviously that requires a lot more work. And initially I didn't expect to be performing so much. It was just while I was on my field work, there were concerts where it's like, oh, you could go in as well. You can see what this is like, this sort of concert experience. So I started and I just haven't stopped.
You happen to be very good at it.
It just kept going. I've been given a lot of opportunities, but that then required obviously a lot more dedication from me.
Right.
And has given me a lot more knowledge as well because of it.
And I believe during your interviews, which you did 60 of, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
And watched 90 Pansori performances, which is amazing. You met... you had a very fateful encounter with a master teacher of yours.
Yes, yeah. So the person I actually learned in lots of different contexts because people learn Pansori in different ways. But one of the really important things is the relationship you have with your teacher, where you take one-on-one lessons. And so my standard way of doing interviews was I go to one of these concerts and then I'd wait outside after the concert and be like, hi, I'm a researcher. Can I interview sometime? And so I did that with Min Hae-sung, who is my teacher. I mean, there on the picture, she's the one there on the left-hand side. Well, right for me, but left for other people.
Right.
Yep. And so it turned out that her studio was just down the road from where I was living. So when I then went for the interview, she was just being polite. She was like, oh, did you have to come far? I was like, well, no, it's actually just 10 minutes walk down the road. She's like,
convenient.
I hear that you are looking for a teacher. Do you want to learn from me?
Oh, so she'd already heard about you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's not that many people looking like me wandering around all the Pansori concerts. So she offered to teach me, and I was like, well, yes, amazing, awesome. She's like, right, sit down. She took her drum over and was like, okay, start following after me. And that's how I then started learning the beginning of 흥부가, which is her main area of specialty. We never did the interview. Well, actually, we did it 3 years later, I think.
Oh, okay.
We then
Better
eventually
late than
got round to the
never.
interview. But that was then my first lesson with her instead.
Wow. So your first lesson in Pansori was with Master Min Hye-sung?
Well, I'd been taking sort of lessons for foreigners at the
Okay.
National Theatre. I'd been taking lessons for like Pansori amateurs and stuff. But this was my first one-on-one lesson, which is a
Right.
whole different thing to sort of group lesson environments.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And after your lessons with Master Min Hye-sung, you entered a Pansori competition, I believe that same year, in which you took first place.
Yeah, so
Tell
I
us
mean,
about that.
that's a really interesting thing as well. So this is actually in France. There is a couple. He's French, she's Korean, Hervé Pejodier and Han Yumi. They're translators, but they're also educators in Korean traditional culture. And so they had been arranging these Pansori workshops for years already with my teacher going and teaching there. And after a certain, couple of years, people kept coming back. And so you needed a next step. So they
Right.
created this competition for people who win there to then win the chance to go to Korea, study in Korea, perform together with Korean artists and
Oh,
so
wow.
on. So I then ended up going to this. My teacher was like, this is a good experience for you, give it a shot. Honestly, it was really unfair because I had spent a year basically living in my teacher's studio as opposed to these people in France who are incredibly passionate but only got the chance to learn Pansori 2 weeks in the year.
I see.
They would then practice by themselves because they love it. There's a really passionate fan base for Pansori in France and Belgium. And they would practice all year by themselves, but then they would just not have any other chance. So it was a bit unfair, to be honest.
Well, I still think you're being humble because I feel like, your level of talent must have spoken for itself as well. Within, everyone has that passion. And we see some of the contestants here. They
Yeah.
were in the middle.
Yep, there's me in the middle. And so you can see just how diverse it is. So this was exclusively for non-Koreans
Right.
to participate. And so you can just see how many people were just wanting to learn Pansori and sing it together. And I mean, even if you just look there, Victorine is now studying at the Korean National University of Arts, just
Oh,
the one to the
wow.
right from me. The one up at the top there, that's Laure Mafo. She's just graduating now, also Korean National University of Arts, appearing for Pansori. She appears a lot on TV here as well. So you can
Right.
see all kind of there in that space and very passionate desire to learn Pansori, which keeps going.
It's fascinating how many people just love the art of Pansori and want to learn about it and really immerse themselves in the world of Korean traditional music. Well, it's been fascinating hearing about your very dramatic journey with Pansori, very much like the character Jeongnyeon. Right now, I'd love to explore the path of your life and your career a little bit more. So if we could ask you to draw a life graph, so show us some of your highest highs and lowest lows with regards to your journey in Pansori, that would be amazing. While Anna does that, let's take a short song break. So this is the song I believe you sang to win the competition, 이별가. All right, here is 이별가, farewell song by 두 번째 달, Second Moon, featuring Kim Jun-soo.
갈까 보다 바람 노시려 넘고 고름도 쉬어넘네 행군견월에 상임새거니 달만 비춰도 임의 생각 야우물령 단야 성의 비만 와도 임의 생각 천리라도 따라가고 말리라도 갈까 아프다 말이라도 갈까 아프다
That was 이별가 Farewell Song by 두 번째 달 Second Moon featuring Kim Junsu. You're tuning in to Culture Crunch, and in our Thursday segment Creme de la Creme, I am joined by Professor Anna Yates-Lu, who is a professor of ethnomusicology at Seoul National University and also a performer of Pansori, the ancient but also contemporary traditional art form. So we've talked a lot about you performing on stage, but I think it's time we watched a clip, showed our listeners and our viewers Anna actually performing on stage. So this is the global 흥보가 which was featured on ARIRANG TV. So let's watch Anna performing together. Wow. I feel like it's a very different persona to Professor Anna that you brought today.
Yeah, no, I think I do split my persona very clearly. Like if I'm on stage, I'm in Hamburg, I've got the traditional hair and everything. Like if I'm talking, and then I go in my academic persona.
I see.
Yeah.
But you got a little Korean style brooch.
Yeah.
It's quite Hamburg style. But
Yeah,
I
so
feel
it's
like a little
with the traditional kind of knot making, which is, it's an art form in its own right. Just a little concession,
very beautiful indeed.
Thank
I
you.
had hoped to see you in your Hamburg today, but perhaps next time.
To be honest, it's very difficult to sit down in Hamburg. It's made for sitting on the floor, which is why for these kind of sit-down interviews, it's really not a very practical choice.
I see.
Yeah.
So next time, perhaps we'll do an interview sitting on the floor together.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, let's talk about your life graph then, which I asked you to draw. We asked you to show some of your highs and lows in your life and in your Pansori career as well. So first of all, the thing that stands out to me is that there are no straight lines whatsoever.
Oh.
So I guess even in your day-to-day life, there are ups and downs that you try to get through. But talk us through your life graph then.
So, I wrote this pretty much in terms of like my understanding of Pansori and how I've grown in terms of my knowledge of the art mostly. So, if that's the sort of the starting point we talked about there with that concert in 2013, it starts off with just curiosity, reading all the books that I can find. And then I go to Korea for my fieldwork. So, we rise a lot in terms of knowledge and enjoyment as well. So I've got 1 year there from 2014 to 2015 where I'm really just able to soak it all in and it's brilliant. Lots of
That's
fun.
when you were doing your research.
Exactly.
Right?
So when I was doing my fieldwork research, after that I have to leave again because obviously I need to finish my PhD. So what happens then is for a good few years, whenever I get the chance, I'm coming to Korea even for a short time. Every time I would come, I would go to my teacher and get, at least one lesson in. But obviously it's not the same. We're not seeing that same intensive interaction. We did have a bit of a fun moment here, though. That's in 2018.
Okay. What happened then?
So I was living in the UK at this point, and on a Thursday afternoon, I suddenly get a call from my teacher. From Korea. And I'm like, what? Why is she calling me? And she's like, hey, Anna, can you be in Paris on Monday? Like, why? And so my friend who I was talking about there earlier, Laure Mafo, she was going to perform in front of two presidents. So the president at the time, Moon Jae-in, he was on a state visit to France, and he was invited to a state banquet with President Macron. In France, and they'd hired Laure to perform, but nobody had thought about hiring a drummer as well.
The key performer.
We
that
have
has to be
talked
on
about
stage.
how important this is, right? So me in the UK, I was the closest person. Now, I am not a very good drummer, but I was better than nothing. So I then ended up going 4 days later to Paris and performing in front of two presidents, accompanying Laure while she
Very
performed.
last minute as well. But what an amazing experience.
Yeah, so that was a really fun experience, like walking the red carpet into the Elysee Palace and all this kind of stuff was exciting. So, these kind of fun experiences you have when you end up walking down a slightly unexpected pathway in your life.
Indeed.
Yes.
So that's the little star, the first star.
So that's the first star. And then so that kind of keeps going until I then get my job here.
In Korea.
Yeah, so that's 2020, which on the one hand, it's great, like my graph is going up. I'm once more able to really immerse myself in the scene here. Obviously, it was also COVID times. So,
Obviously.
There's a bit of a dip there. There were definite moments in between where like I couldn't have lessons or you had to practice wearing masks, which is horrible. You need a lot of air to sing.
Right.
And people did it because you had to. It was also really, really tough to see a lot of my friends, a lot of the artists I know and respect struggling because it just obviously the performing arts scene everywhere really, really had a lot of difficulty during that period.
Yeah.
So that was really not an easy time, definitely. But thankfully now we've got out the other side again. So
Indeed.
Since then now we're once more performing, able to talk to people, meet people, and all these kind of things. And so I just had as my next star there, one of my favorite performance memories.
Which was?
This was in Bukchon Hanok village. They have a music festival there every year. And they invited me together with my teacher to go perform. And the atmosphere was amazing. It was October, it was raining, and we were in a hanok. So very, very intimate performance, only 40 audience members, but right there. So you feel that synergy. And they had the windows open, you could hear the rain falling outside. So just
Beautiful.
the atmosphere itself was amazing. And then while we were performing, me and my teacher were talking about my teacher's teacher, who was actually also a member of one of these all-female performance troupes that you see in Jeongnyeon while she was alive. Yes.
Wow.
So we were talking about that and how these stories, these singing styles are being passed down. And when I was performing 이별가, I was singing there as well for the first time in 8 years since that competition. There was a lady, an elderly lady in the audience, and she was crying, watching me, and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm that good, but sure. It turned out afterwards she was in that all-female performance troupe together with my teacher's teacher.
Oh, wow.
And so she was able to relive all those memories, hearing us talk about her and together. And so that was just that kind of the first time that I could see my performance sort of really eliciting an emotional reaction in people. Obviously, it wasn't just my singing, it was the whole context around it as well. But that was just amazing as an experience. So I think, I've had a lot of amazing performances, lots of luck, but really that one just stands out.
Yes, to affect an audience member that deeply must have been quite humbling, but an amazing experience as well.
Yeah,
so that's the second star that we see on your graph.
Yeah, and so since then I'm just doing my best, continuing to learn. I put the question mark there because who knows where this is going to go. I first met my teacher's teacher when she was 90.
Oh, wow.
And she told me at the time, she was actively still performing on stage at that point in time. She's like, you know what? I think now I know what Pansori is. I know how to do it. Problem is, my body won't let me do it anymore. So, on the one hand, it means oh my goodness, I have so much more to learn. On the other hand, it's quite comforting because it's well, I have time. It's okay. I just need to keep going. And as you live your life, it changes. The 이별가 that I sang as a PhD student is very different to the 이별가 that I sing 10 years later.
Right.
The life, the feelings that you as a performer put into the music, they all change. So there's a lot more that can still happen there. And so I put that question mark there because I don't know where I'm going to end up. I'm attempting to prepare at the moment for my first solo concert.
Amazing.
First time, the longest I've sung so far is sort of 20 minutes at a stretch, which is already a lot of work. This is going to be more than an hour long.
Wow.
So I have to work at the moment on that physicality of training my body to keep that energy going for that long. It's a whole new challenge, but it's a very meaningful one to me. So yeah, I look forward to seeing where I end up.
Wow. So, just going back to the constant and continuous learning of Pansori, do you feel like it will be a lifelong sort of education for you? Do you see an end goal?
I don't think it's possible to say that there's an end goal. It's just the further I go, the more I learn. And I really enjoy, I'm a researcher, I'm an educator as well these days. I really love learning tidbits, fun little tidbits, and then passing that on to people.
Right.
And
teacher in you.
Yes. So that just kind of being able to find out new things and then being able to continue to pass that on. I mean, if I'm lucky, I can keep working. I've got at least another 30 years of working life ahead of me. So, I can hopefully get quite a lot done in that time.
Hopefully. And as you were mentioning about putting your life experiences into your performances as well, and the 이별가, the farewell song, you've probably experienced different types of 이별, farewells, ever since your first performance of that song. So I'm very excited to see where you go as an artist and a professor as well. Absolutely amazing. And so going back to your professor persona, as a professor of ethnomusicology and through your research, how do you hope to share and promote Pansori even further?
So, I've tried lots of different things. I've done things like I have a whole 10-hour lecture series on KMOOC, which is like free, and that put a lot of work in to sort of give in-depth information. But I also try and do sort of things like this, that sort of tidbits of information as well.
Sure.
Obviously, I need to do academic research as well. At the moment, I'm looking into, on the one hand, 정년이, very interesting in terms of how that looks at the Korean society's perception of gender and all these kind of things. There's a lot of very interesting discussion that's been happening in that area. 국악 fandom. So 국악, Korean traditional music, there's a fandom that is emerging now with a very specific culture. It has similarities to your sort of idol fandom.
Right.
Or like musical star fandom, which is obviously a very big thing in Korea as well. But it also has its own very definite characteristics. And so I've been doing like surveys, talking to fans in that area as well. And there's a lot of really interesting information there. And the fans also told me, like, we're telling you this information, but please actually share that with like the institutions, because we have opinions about how things should be done. So these are all kind of things that I need to do, continue working on promoting 국악 internationally. I think there's plenty for me to do. I don't think I'm going to get bored.
So talking of fandoms, do you see like a whole 국악 wave happening, like the K-pop wave that's happening right now?
There was already a wave back when Inachi band became really big with Tiger is Coming during the COVID pandemic, and like their ad went viral. There was a big moment there. And it died down a bit again since, but definitely, like I said, in the Changguk scene where now you can't get tickets anymore because particularly the main stars, someone like Kim Jun-soo, whose song we heard earlier, or Yoo Tae-pyongyang, these kind of performers are stars, and they have star power that will make their concerts sell out pretty much instantly. You have some of their fans will go to something like 10 of their concerts per month.
Wow.
We're talking dedicated fandoms here.
Intense.
So that, it's there. It's obviously not as big as idol fandom, but there's a lot of passion there, which I think there's a lot of potential to sort of use that, expand on that as well, which I think will be interesting to see where it goes.
Fascinating stuff. And I also read that you have described Pansori as an endless puzzle. I guess that ties into the lifelong learning that you talked about, but was there anything else that you meant by that?
Well, I think mainly it's just a thing of also becoming okay with myself as a foreigner. I am performing a very Korean art form. There are various sentiments, various identities that I need to be very aware of in my performance to make sure that I'm being very respectful in my approach to it. On the other hand, though, that could be sort of cause for despair, like I am never going to understand this. But, it's also, on the one hand, I can give perspectives because I'm coming from the outside.
Right, a third
That's
party.
One potential. The other really comforting thing is I had one experience where I was in my teacher's studio and there was a primary school student with me. And so I looked at her, she was practicing. I was like, do you actually know what you're singing? She's like, I have no idea. So I was like, okay, even Koreans, when they start out, they don't know. So in that sense, if Koreans don't know, it's okay for me if I take a bit more time, I can also learn.
Right.
So
Very
that's
positive
also
mindset.
part of that whole puzzle issue.
Because even for native Koreans, as you said, it like the sheer volume of lyrics, for example, I don't know how, lyrics is my weakness. I'm very bad at learning lyrics. So big props to you for being able to learn all those lyrics and really pouring yourself and your heart into your performances as well. We are having a fascinating, wonderful chat with Professor Anna Yates-Lu this morning on Creme de la Creme. Before we continue our talk, let's check out how you can listen to Culture Crunch. Catch Culture Crunch on ARIRANG Radio at 11 a.m. KST every day. You can listen to our show via the ARIRANG Radio application, which you can download from your app store, or watch the programme on ARIRANG TV. If you're in the Jeju area, tune in to 88.7 in Jeju City, 88.1 in Seogwipo City, or 101.9 in the Daejeong area. If you're in Busan, you can listen from BEFM 90.5, and in the Kijang, Noksan, Jeongnyeon areas, tune in to 103.3. You can also join us on our YouTube live stream. The channel is ARIRANG Radio K-pop. And if you miss any of these, don't worry. You can catch the radio rerun at 2 a.m. KST every day. Don't forget, there are exclusive episodes on Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. KST only on ARIRANG Radio. Catch Culture Crunch on ARIRANG Radio at 11 a.m. KST every day. You're listening to and watching Culture Crunch on ARIRANG, and our Thursday segment, Creme de la Creme. I am joined by Professor Anna Yates-Lu, a master of Pansori. So are you still taking lessons in Pansori to this day?
Yes, pretty much every week. At the moment, my teacher's overseas, so I'm practicing by myself. But normally, I'm going every week to learn more and go over. You don't just stop once you've learned a piece once. You keep going back and polishing it more. So, yes.
And I guess polishing those emotions that really go into it. And do you see yourself continuing your studies and continuing to learn for the rest of your life? I mean, people are still doing it at 90, as you said, right?
Well, yes. I mean, I have learned nowhere near even one story. And there are 5. And that's just my teacher's versions. Obviously, different teachers, there are different schools that have different styles as well. I can spend a couple more decades, I think, before I will even have learned the basic material that just my teacher would be transmitting. So, yes, long way to go.
Okay. Well, hopefully the life graph that you drew for us will continue on its upward trend.
Thank you.
And what would you say Pansori means to you?
I mean, I think it's an art form that I really enjoy. What I think is so great about it is literally any kind of emotion you can think of is in there.
Right.
Like, yes, the context is sort of Joseon dynasty. Not everything is directly sort of equivalent to our modern experience. But those human emotions are all in there.
Right.
So if I'm in a good mood, there is a song I can sing. If I am really angry and just want to scream, there is a song that I can sing, which is great for that. If I'm feeling sad, if I'm down, I just want to sort of let those emotions out. There is a song for that. Literally any emotion you can think of is covered. So,
I guess that's why it's so popular with the audience as well. There's something for everyone. There's an emotion for everyone, whatever they're feeling that day.
Yeah.
Amazing. So lastly, just tell us a bit more about your concert and what that's going to involve.
So, I mean, obviously, like I said, I perform, but I'm also an academic. So this whole thing of trying to make Pansori approachable. Like, yes, I could talk about all the academic nitty-gritty, but I want to think, what are the sort of the easiest ways for people to get to grips with what's happening and be able to feel it, because the language is complicated. So I have this whole concept of, like, these days, if we listen to it, we don't get images in our head anymore. We can't just from the words alone imagine, which the people in the past obviously could do, and that was their language. There's one scene in one of the Pansori stories where the court painter comes and draws. So my concept is that I am the court painter who's going to help people to draw that image into their head so that they can start to imagine again when they're listening to Pansori stories. So that's the concept that we're going with for now.
So it's not just a performance for you, it's also a way for you to promote this very traditional art form of Pansori. Absolutely amazing. I'd love to share a comment from our live stream with you. Bob Anzac says, nice interview. I appreciate Anna sharing her stories. Thank you to everyone involved in getting her as a guest. I feel like I have learned so much today, Anna, from being here, from you being here and hearing your stories as well. Would you like to say some final words for our listeners, especially the international ones, fans of Pansori or even beginners to Pansori?
Yeah, well, I mean, a great thing is that these days there's quite a lot of material that's out there also with English subtitles and stuff. If you start looking a little bit on YouTube, for example, there's loads of content out there as well. The National Folk Kugak Center, 국립민속국악원, has a whole YouTube channel with like lots of videos, explainers, which is good. The National Theatre has explaining videos out there. If this is something that you're curious about, there are materials there that you can look at. So I really hope that for those also internationally who may not be able to see a performance live straight away, that you look, find out and see whether anything there catches your interest. There's lots to look into and lots to learn. So I hope you enjoy.
Lots of different sources that you can get your Pansori fix from. Well, sadly, that's all the time we have for today. But Anna, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your world and your stories with us as well. Absolutely fascinating.
Thank you. I always enjoy geeking out in public.
And best of luck for your solo performance next year as well.
Thank you.
Guys, that is all the time we have for today. I'm going to leave you with Puk by Seoul Band, and I shall join you again tomorrow for another episode of Culture Crunch. Bye.
허전한 데를 채울 저